Hi, this is Anthony, and this is the first video of my tank. Um, it's still being cycled and set up and everything, and you're going to see the four goldfish there and thinking, why? Well, I'm not very experienced. I've kept fish on and off for 25 years, and I cycle my tanks a little bit differently. I'm not saying I recommend this for anybody because you do have to watch what you do very carefully. But these are common goldfish, and so they're not like expensive. They're not showpiece. But the big white one there, his name is Pig, and he's been with me about 5 to 7 years. Have went through several fish tank setups, and he's one of my favorite fish to put in a new fish tank. Though he's very destructive to plants and substrate. He's a very personable fish. He will swim up to me with my hand in the water. But I've had this tank now cycling for about a week. It's still just a little bit hazy. The extra bio load from my fish keeps the haze around for a while because the bacteria really has to grow. I set up the tank for a couple of days, and as the haze started going away, I stuck Pig in there, and he started producing good stuff for the bacteria. The haze came back and is still trying to grow on the surfaces, such as the flagstone, and those are big river rock, which I got from our local landscaping place, and a couple other little rocks. They're nothing special. But I wanted to introduce my tank. This is a 60-gallon. It's 4 feet wide, 25 inches tall. And I've got two different filters running in it. Right now, I've got the Zist filter, which is, growing bacteria in the media. It's a flowing media, and that is helping the bacteria to grow. And the other filter, sorry for the shaky camera here, I got to open the door, it's going to get blurry. I am trying out this Sun 704B. It has 4 different trays in it, and it also has a 9-watt UV sterilizer. Now during this setup, I turn off the UV sterilizer. It does have a switch on top where I can turn it on and off. So this is kind of an introduction to my tank. It's going to be the focus, one of the focuses of my fish tank journey. But I do plan to add a showpiece fish in this tank. Hopefully you guys get to see that. And I have an idea of what is going to be going with these fish because Pig and his friends are too big to go back into the other tank. So the other tank has some other fish in there, and I will show that in a different video. But for now, this is just kind of the tank. Not sure what I want to focus on to start out with. Oh, I do know what I wanted to start out with on this video. So the flagstone that I got here, the river rock, and the other rock. Okay, so one thing I noticed when setting up this tank was that my pH level of the water that I put in here is 7.4, which is pretty good. But this is the first tank that I've set up with these, going out and buying these rocks, and my pH really jumped up. And I want to bring that out because that can be a very stressful thing to fish and other things. But it went from 7.4 to 8.2 within 1 day. I have some driftwood. I put the driftwood in here for a while, and it started coloring the water tan. It's a very dark piece of driftwood, so it has a lot of tannins in it. I soaked it for a month and a half, and it still turned the tank. Now on the video it looks pretty clear. In real life it has a little bit of a yellowish tint, but I kept it in there for 2-3 days, and the pH started dropping slowly. It went down to 8.0. I took it out because I didn't want the water to go totally black water. This is not meant to be a black water setup. I'm going to try to find some lighter driftwood that I won't have the problems with so much leaching of the tannins. But for now, I think the driftwood will go back in there. I don't really want to put activated charcoal in there, or activated carbon, excuse me, because that will take out the fertilizers I use in the water column. Now, if I have to, I will. But I think that with some other driftwood, and maybe even with this driftwood that I have, which is not currently in the tank, that I can get the pH level back down to around 7.5. That's where I'd like to keep it, around 7.5. And I think it would be really well for the future fish I plan on putting here. And it probably will be a good month, 2 months, before I think this tank will be cycled for me to put other fish in there. Now, these common goldfish, they're very hardy, in my opinion. My local pet store where we used to live, I picked these guys up for like 19 cents each. You know, they were the feeder fish, and you couldn't even see through the tank. There were so many, and I decided they were a good candidate for testing of some tanks, and they survived. I didn't doubt they would survive, and they have just become a member of the family, and I treat them well. I try to give them a varying diet. They get ripashi, they get crow flakes, they get regular goldfish flakes, and they pretty much eat anything I put into the tank. They devour it. Pig there doesn't look like it, but he's 6.5 inches long. With a big tank like this, it makes him look small. But he's a very personable fish. You can see they'll show off to the camera. They love it. But I can't put really small fish in there because he will eat them. I'm sorry if I move the camera too fast. I don't have really good camera equipment and just cheap stuff. But if you can suffer through my cheap camera, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm probably going to talk more about my tank individual items, especially the Sun filter. And never had a Zist filter before, so this is the initial test. So hope to keep you updated on that, and updated on plant tanks. If Pig will stop treating the plants like an all-you-can-eat salad buffet, that's what he does. So you can see him trying to destroy the gravel. And if I didn't mention it, this is a dirted tank, so if he breaks through that sand, I might have some problems. And we'll deal with that. You know, love the little guy. Nothing special, but I love him. Y'all take care.